secret now. I see dead people.
Welcome to Blondes and Booze. You are about to embark on a journey, one that often leads to more questions than answers. But fear not, your host, Krista, Aaron, and Brandy have the experience, the perseverance, and yes, even the gifts to pull back the veil and allow us to glimpse the other side. They will share not only their experiences, but will introduce you to world-renowned researchers and experiencers to help you find answers in the murky waters of what we call the paranormal. Their bonds with each other reach far beyond friendship, resulting in a pull no punches approach to the many subjects they explore. Their goal? To open eyes, hearts, and even minds to what lies on the other side, and the answers residing there.
Hey everybody, welcome. Glad to have
Good
everybody.
evening.
Woohoo, it's Friday night.
It's Friday night. Yay!
Friday night. And honestly, I got to be honest with you. I ate too much. I'm ready for bed.
Right. Right. And I haven't, and I'm still tired, so it doesn't really matter. I just want to take a moment to wish everybody a happy Bootober. It's
That's right.
Bootober here on Blondes and Booze this month, so get ready for some spooky stuff. Of course, you know, we have our great blonde. We're just going to call him a blonde. We call him a co-host. He's never a guest here anymore, but you know, it's beyond BMR. It's Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob. It's the one and only Bigfoot Michigan Rob. So we're happy to have him. He's always a hoot to have on. So
Yep.
I'm excited about that.
Me too. Me too. I do want to say something real quick. I see our friend Greg Ogles is in chat, and Greg's son recently had a really bad car accident, and he is doing well. So if you guys are the praying sorts, please send some continued prayers for Greg and his family and his son for
a speedy recovery.
Yep, for sure. So, and I did see where Greg said he is doing a lot better, and we're very, very glad to hear that. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because Greg is one of our good friends, and you know, we're there
That's
for
right.
our friends. So
Right. We are just so happy to hear the good news that he'll be coming home soon, we hope. So that's good.
Yeah, sure. Oh, sure. So, Brandy, did you work today?
I did not. You know, they've been cutting hours. We're running into the downtime for my job. There's not much home remodeling going on during the winter time, so we're slowing down. So they're, you know, cutting hours and all that good stuff, which is sad, but it's nice to have the time off.
Yeah, I get it. I know how it is. I worked today, and then this local it's a hardware store, and they do customer appreciation once a year. And so my husband works for a construction company, and his company buys their products there, so he qualified to go. So we went to it. They had a fish fry, but it wasn't only fish. They had, sorry, walking in, dog barking. But they had a fish fry. They had French fries. They had onion rings. They had hush puppies. They had potato salad, coleslaw. I mean, you name it. Jalapeno poppers and cheese ball. I mean, it was just like more than you could eat. So that's why, honestly, I ate too much and I'm ready for bed.
Yeah, I probably would have ate until I got sick. That would have been me. That's good stuff. Good stuff, you know.
Yeah. So, and then they give away really big gifts, which is really cool. And last year, actually, he won a envelope of money, full of money, So that was nice. And he just walked in. He said, I didn't get nothing this year. So
Oh,
nothing.
dang.
Yeah, it's all good though. It's all good. So
Maybe next year.
right. Let's hope. Let's hope. You want to remind everybody what to watch, and then we're going to talk about Rob's bandana.
Well, we got to wait a second because we haven't even talked about a book club.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We have got a book club. Believe it or not, we decided last night that this would be kind of a good thing to do is take these books on these odd subjects that we so love to talk about and pick one. And we're going to take the time to read it. And then we're going to talk about it. This book that we have decided is called The Man from the Train by Bill James. Now, this is about an axe murderer, should I say, murderer.
It's a true story, correct? It's a true.
It's a true story. And what date is it? We're gonna do.
I believe it's December 21st.
Yes, December 21st. So everybody is welcome to read the book and jump in chat, talk with us about it. It's going to be a good time, I'm sure. As you could see with Heather and Naoma last night, it's a bunch of laughs and a bunch of stories and things like that. So it should be a good time. So
Yeah,
again.
And they'll both be back on the show that night to
right.
talk about
so
it.
So it's The Man from the Train by Bill James.
Yeah, so, and we'll also post it on our Facebook group as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll leave that to you, Brandy, to post on our Facebook.
That's no problem. You know, it is just like, because everybody knows that watches the show that Chris and I, you know, we watch the ID channel to go to sleep. So what better thing to do is read this book and get a good night's rest.
That's right. That's right. True story. So
okay. But anyway, let's move on with what we got on the channels. So on Monday night at 8 p.m. Central, it's Texas Front Porch, of course, with Tex and myself. Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central, it is Bob Van Buren, the Van Buren Variety. At 8 p.m., our good friend Bigfoot Michigan Rob will be on, with Beyond BMR, of course, is at 8 p.m. Central. Wednesday. Now, this is where it gets a little bit crazy. Jason McLean Questions Everything will have his last episode at 7 p.m. Central next week. So make sure you tune in and give him all the good luck and all the good vibes for what he has in store. At 8 p.m. Central is Danielle Diva and the Diva Dimension. Thursdays, of course, at 12 p.m. Central, it is Bigfoot Michigan Rob, again with Krista. That is with Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob. I don't know why I have to spread that out. Why can't I just say Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob and Krista? I don't know. I got to drag it out. I just got to drag it out. Of course, Thursday nights is us with Blondes and Booze at 8 p.m. Central. Friday nights, again, it's us, Blondes, Booze, and the Woo at 8 p.m. Central. On Saturdays, 2 p.m. Central, Tex and Danielle Diva release their latest. God bless America. This is getting to be too long. It's getting a lot.
Right.
2 p.m. Central. Tex and Danielle Diva released their newest episode of Infamous Minds. I don't know what it's about this week, but I'm excited to find out. Don't forget Donnie Cho, and Donnie says stuff because he does a lot. So just remember all of those things. I'm kind of tongue-tied tonight. I guess I need some rest. I don't know. I didn't rest enough today, I think.
I hear you. Sorry about the dog. He'll stop here in a minute. So we're running a little contest in here for everybody to comment on BMR's bandana, what color everybody thinks that he is wearing. And actually, this is kind of a tricky one tonight. We
were having issues with it. Kristen and I weren't even agreeing on it, but then we have to go with the final word of what Rob had said it was.
Yes. So actually, Rob's not ready to come on yet. So
he's not ready to come on yet. Well, dang it. We'll have to just wait for him.
Yeah, he's there, but he's not. So
He's getting hooked up. He was having problems with his internet again. And he's like, I just came online.
Yeah.
He's like, I just came on. I'm like,
Yeah.
you have more problems than anybody I know with internet. And I thought I had problems.
Right. Real quick, though, before we do go any further, we do have another event. Brandy, you want to talk about that one?
Sure. This is the one that we've got coming up in December. It's the one where you have to subscribe to all 4 channels to get all 4 parts of the puzzle. To put it together for the end result, the one main event, we're all coming together and we're going to be doing something really special, cool, and live. But like I said, you have to follow all the channels to figure out what we're doing. And they'll each channel will have a different segment of either history or whatever we're doing. They have their little segment. I can't give it away yet, but they'll have their little segment. So it's going to be kind of cool to get all the pieces together and then actually figure out at the end and know what we're doing, which is pretty cool. Okay.
All right. I'm going to add Robin. Oh.
It's like he's hiding it.
Hello, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
Oh, one quick thing before we do the reveal. A Midwest Night Watchers. Gosh, see, this is my problem tonight. Midwest Night Watchers on October 14th. He's going to have to put the time up because I think it is 7 p.m. Central. I can't see the flyer in my head right now, but we're all coming on to his show. We're going to be talking all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. With us, once we get on there, it could be from Bigfoot to end of the world. You just never know.
True story.
7 p.m. Central.
Yep.
See, 7 p.m. Central. I got it.
All right. Do we need a drum roll or something, Rob, here?
Yes, so, I'm here. I'm ready to roll. I had to cover up the big reveal with my BMR.
Awesome.
I want everybody in high suspense because I don't think anybody's going to guess this color.
Uh-oh.
I thought we did see.
Well,
someone.
we did. Well, I don't know.
Oh, okay, but nobody else did. We did.
Yeah, nobody else guessed this color, but one person did.
Right.
So.
Well, I'm going to pull this off. I'll give the big reveal.
And it is actually, what color is it, Rob?
I think I'm going to go with a mustard.
The mustard yellow gets it. And I believe that was Donnie Cho.
Yep. That's what I've got written down. Donnie Cho, you are the winner. Mustard.
So if you want to just message Brandy and I the size you need and your address. Either one of us, you can private message us on Facebook or email us at blondesandbooze@gmail.com. Either one's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For you. Mm-hmm. So congratulations.
I still, I'm saying mustard because, when it's online like this, it really, if I'm going to be honest, it looks more like a brownish mustard tan mix,
Yeah.
But so.
Yeah.
And nobody's
because
who's going to guess, burnt brown or whatever.
I know. Right?
It does look like burnt mustard though.
It's a little bit of gray poupon.
You know what? There you go.
There you go.
I like that.
Yeah, and we were going back and forth because Krista was saying, "Okay, that looks kind of orange to me," and I'm like, "Well, it looks kind of yellow." And then Rob was like, "That is not the color. It is. That is not. Yeah. It's just the lighting."
I guess it's the lighting and the color, like of our computer screen. So
right. And I look like when I was talking with Krista backstage, I said, "It looks like you've got a white shirt on, but it's actually."
It's pink.
One of my shirts, right? Mine
is your shirt. I'm wearing your shirt
and
tonight.
It's pink. And it's pink.
Mm-hmm.
And the Brandy, of course, is sporting red. So who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, black. I know.
See?
I'm like, I think Brandy's got a black shirt on.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. Black is always black, no matter what the lighting.
Hey, it's the staple in my closet, black. If I can't find nothing, just wear black.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you, Red Creek Mafia. We appreciate that.
Thank you. So, like I said, we were going back and forth, but we have to go with what Rob says. I mean, because
He's sitting
Yeah.
there.
he
He
can
knows
see
the
it
exact
without the
color.
light.
And people
Right.
keep saying it looks orange. I tell you what, you guys, this is definitely not orange.
But I could see where they could get orange
I
from
could
my
see
side
where.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I,
just
cou- I
this
couldn't have
is
I
a
couldn't
new
have picked
thing.
more I couldn't have picked a more complex. I did not know this was going on. So of
We
course I
didn't
had to pick
either.
something
Hero
complex.
suggested it. We're like, okay, let's run with it. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
He can, yeah, he can't pick something easy. He's got to come up with something difficult.
Well, like I was telling you guys though, and I got this rack with all these bandanas, and you guys, I got like 78 bandanas.
Wow.
And now one of my favorite colors is I have a lot of different blues and turquoises, which I do wear quite a bit of. But I've got lots of browns, oranges. I mean, I got so many things I have yet to unveil.
Yeah. So new thing. Anytime Rob comes on a Blondes and Booze show, we will do this contest.
Oh wow, that's
Uh-oh.
awesome.
Yeah.
I already know what my next one's gonna be. No one's gonna guess it.
So just remember that
Right.
the
Right.
next one is going to be complicated.
It's
So
gonna
you're going
be
to put on your thinking
complex.
caps.
It's going to be complex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very complex.
Like this one wasn't.
Well, this one was, yeah, but I'll make the next one really intriguing. No one will get. I'll save you guys $25 because no one will guess it.
Naoma says you should tell us now, and that way we'll see who remembers.
Oh, that's a great one. Blue.
Yeah, because like I said, I was calling it yellow. Krista was calling it orange, and Rob was like, nope,
No,
that
not.
is not what it
Yeah,
is.
it's not. Yellow is the blondes and booze thing, and I have yellow bandanas. So yeah, so you guys got to take my word for it. I know what this is. It's more the
Yeah.
mustard yellow look. Now in the back, it's got purple and red and blue in it, but you
Well,
know,
Daddy says,
But it's not tie-dye.
no,
You
it's
know,
not.
because we were questioning that too, and you
Yeah.
said no, it is not tie-dye.
No, this ain't
It's just
tie-dye.
kind of like fades into another color. It
Yes.
doesn't have that tie-dye effect to it.
And I guess I do have tie-dye ones too, but I guess if I wore that, it'd have to be the more predominant of the tie-dye. It's like on my forehead. Because
yeah.
I have some pretty cool. I have some cool tie-dye ones. In fact, I did on my the BMR bandana store is now open, and I've got 3 or 4 bandanas. But you know, I don't really expect anyone to buy it because I'm trying to find a different vendor because one bandana, and now the bandanas that I do have out, because one person bought it. Oh, she's not here in the chat. Bought it and she put it on her German Shepherd, her dog. It's cool, but it's got my pirate face picture, like my my icon. So it is pretty cool, but for $20 for one, you guys, God, I need a new vendor because it should only be like $5, you know. And then after you pay shipping, so
Yeah.
if people want to check it out, they can. I'm not going to sit here and market that. If you got extra money, if you love it, buy it, of course. But I'm looking to get a different vendor because you know I'd like to get like 500 of them for and just mail them to people versus buy them off of,
Right.
the
Yeah, I
site.
mean,
But
when
that's
you're
so hard.
talking about $5 or $6, even
You
the
know.
wholesale price of $5 or $6, and you sell them
Oh.
for 10 is a whole lot better than
Oh
20.
yeah. You know,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
I haven't even bought one. Okay, so I mean, I'm just being honest. You know, I'm pretty transparent, and it's like if you want to get it, I probably will buy one because they are kind of cool. I must admit, but yeah, I'm trying to cheapen that price up. T-shirts are fine, sweatshirts are fine, hoodies are fine, but for a bandana, they even want to charge $5 for a sticker. They want to charge me $5 for a sticker.
No.
Did
Come
you
on.
look into our person? Because
I did. She never called me back or email. I emailed her like twice. You told me that like several months ago.
Yeah,
So we'll give her a shout later next week or something. Say, look,
because
call
like
this guy.
seriously, like you can buy a T-shirt in our store for $12.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like everybody's cost, not like,
Mm-hmm.
our cost. It's everybody's cost. And that's pretty
Mhm.
reasonable, I think. You can't even go to Walmart and buy a t-shirt for $12,
Yeah, because when we buy our own merch for like things that we wear to conferences and stuff, we pay the same price everybody else does.
Mhm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I
Sure
did
do.
find, because there's a Myers by my house, and I usually I don't buy really clothes at Myers, but now they're really putting out some cool clothes at a discounted price. And I found vintage like t-shirts, like the old Coca-Cola bottling company,
Yeah.
Stroh's beer, the original Budweiser beer, and then all these
Oh
cool
yeah.
bands from the day back in the 80s.
Yep.
$10. But
Wow.
you got to get there
Oh,
when they hit the floor because they sell out in less than an hour. And
Holy cow.
I've been lucky to get like 3 or 4 because I talked to I go there so frequently that I got a hold of one of the people, and they told me like every Tuesday, 8 in the morning, they put them out, and by noon that day, 75% of them are gone, sold. So,
Wow. That's crazy.
and they're pretty cool. I've worn them on shows, but you don't see the whole, how this is set up.
Mhm.
So you don't see the whole thing, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I have like all of my friends' shirts. I have yours. I got Tex. I got
Well, I
Ian.
gotta tell you,
I got Bart. I got
I
ourselves.
I'm making a list. I'm gonna buy all my friends' shirts. I haven't got any, but I don't even have my shirts yet. I'm just waiting to make one big purchase to avoid the shipping because I was gonna buy, and I still will. Don't worry, girls. I was gonna buy the, how I like the muscle shirts for the summer, the Blondes and Blues muscle shirt.
Mhm.
It's cheap, you guys, $12. I was gonna
hmm
buy it. I'm not cheap, you guys, but I was like, and then the shipping was $17.50.
Wow.
I'm like, well, I guess what I'm gonna do is buy like a lot at one time. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And and I didn't mean to discourage anyone from looking your stuff up. It just might have been because
Hmm.
whatever shipping is, I don't know. But I think
Yeah.
that's before you went with this other woman, though.
Yeah, it
I
was
think
because the
that's what it was.
shipping when I got the new merch was
Okay,
not that much.
that's probably
Yeah.
what it
So,
was then. Yeah,
Yeah. I'll post the link to our merch in the chat here
yeah.
too.
Because I don't know if I got the new one.
I'm
Because
gonna do
this was like when I first met you guys. I was going to buy something right. You had stuff.
Yeah.
oh yeah, we changed. That's
Okay.
that one that everybody uses because you can link it up to YouTube and all this kind of stuff. It's but
Yeah.
we don't want to charge people that.
No,
There's no
I don't
way.
either. I mean,
No.
it's
I personally don't like paying $30 or $40 for a t-shirt. So why would I want anybody else to buy our stuff? Literally, our
hmm
t-shirts are $12
mhm.
through that site. I just posted in chat. 12
12
bucks.
or 15, depending on what type of shirt. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, because I think Brandy, you have the kind with the small logo, and you didn't pay that much for that either. The polo
Mm-mm. No,
type.
no, I paid $20, but mine's an actual polo, the air wicking
Right.
polo.
Oh,
Mhm.
So I can look fancy when I go places, sporty. And yeah, mine weren't even, no, they were
Uh,
not bad at all.
yeah,
no, not at all. Not
yeah.
at all.
Cool. Because like I say, I sell the Teespring. Well, you've bought the stuff, Chris. That's
Mhm.
$20 for a t-shirt, which I think is fine,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, yeah.
still I like to move on to somebody else just because I want everything to be inexpensive.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the one that we go through, and this will be the last thing I talk about with the t-shirts, but she employs handicap and people with disabilities. And
hmm
so I like that.
Yeah, I'm on
Brandy
Yeah.
and
board with
I
that
like
for
that
sure.
idea. So that's why, honestly, not only because of her prices, but because, she's given people jobs who, in today's world might not be able to find a job. And,
Yeah.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
I'm
It
down
takes,
with that. I'm definitely interested in that. Anything to help other
Mhm.
people,
Yeah.
right. And it takes just a little bit longer, of course.
Yeah, you might wait 3 weeks to 6 weeks to get your stuff, but you save on the cost and
save
you're
on the
doing a good
cost,
deal.
and it's for a good cause, good cause,
Right.
good
Yeah.
cause. So
Yeah.
it's
It just takes them a little bit longer to do it, but they do a great job. Seriously. And
yeah,
they embroider like nobody's business.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
cool.
So anyway, let's talk some
Yeah,
ghosts.
we could talk about some stuff here, before we get started. Before we're, we're we talk about merchandising, we'll be at the 5-minute break.
I know, right?
I do want to.
Let's
Since we
just
talk,
stop talking that stuff.
we're talking about we are talking. I love when I come on the show because Chris and Brandy, Rob, come on and talk some stories. And I love you too because you always make me think and pull out of my past, which sometimes is sketchy. Just kidding.
Mhm.
So it makes me think. And with that being said, I started a new series for everyone. Just gonna be for the month of October. After this show, don't just continue to stay here. I'm doing a series of Halloween stories that I posted my first one today for the month of October. So I'm gonna sporadically put those out throughout the month of October because October is one of my favorite months. Halloween to me is a holiday, and it starts really October 1st.
Mhm.
So I did my first story today that I posted. So check it out later on after this show. I like it. It's a lot of stuff I've made up, and I'll put a disclaimer. It ain't facts. It's nothing that happened to me personally. It's just stuff that I've kind of dreamed up, but it's also though of things that I've read in the past, movies I might have seen, books I might have read, because a lot of these things you don't know they could happen. So it's got, although it's not truth or fiction, it is something that I know has happened to people though. So it's got that element in it, and and it'll be running through October. So I just want to throw that out for a new little series I'm running. But with that
Awesome.
being said, I got a couple ghost stories, but I wanted to tell this story. It's not really a ghost story. It's kind of more, you tell me what you think, and everybody can leave a comment what you think. I don't know if it's cryptid, but it's kind of spooky. And this happened, and I told this story. I don't know where it was. Then I told my buddy that I told this story. Then he saw the show, listened to it, says, "Robbie, you missed all these details, man. You should have called me." So this is it's a revision of it. But I don't think anybody that knows us or me heard it before. It was on some other
Mhm.
channel. But this is back. First of all, this takes place during the Oakland County child murders back in the day, and between when I was like around 10 or 11 years old.
Mhm.
It was very creepy. And the reason I bring that up now is because at the end of the story, you'll see where it kind of perhaps ties together with this guy. And by the way, the Oakland County child murderer that mystery has never been solved. About 10 or 12 kids between the ages of 8 and 13 were all kidnapped and murdered. Okay.
Mm.
So, yeah, it's probably something Tex should look into. But anyway, so this is in Oakland County, and I'm at my friend's house. So it's me and my brother. We go to my friend Mike's house. And I've known Mike my entire life. I still know him to this day. I met him through my parents because it was parents they were friends of my parents. So it was myself, my brother Dave, Mike, and this kid that I never met, Billy. So the four of us. And then Mike, my friend, hooked up with these three other guys. Two of them, and I don't know their names. I'm not going to bother with all these names, you guys. I'll just forget them. But it's three guys that I never met. But two were friends of my friend Mike.
Mhm.
But there was this other guy that just became part of the group. And as you guys know, I can sum up people pretty good. I told you about
Mhm.
the one kid. I've told this many times that ended up, I said he was an evil kid. And what did he do?
Yep.
Murdered his
Murdered.
grandmother.
Yeah.
Well, this kid, I had that same eerie feeling about this one kid out of the entire group. I'll just leave it at that. I said, man, there's something strange about him. So, in continuing with the story, Mike, my friend Mike, his parents lived on a big 2 or 3 acres of property. And in back of the property was the woods. Today, if you go there now, the woods are knocked down and there's like mansions built there. So when I was a little kid, this is nothing but like the forest or the woods. And I would go, me and my brother and my family, my mom and dad would always go there every weekend. So every weekend for about 2 years, you guys, as young kids, we started making trails. We would literally cut out and make a trail for our mini bikes so we could drive the trail. And every year our trail got bigger and bigger. And then our dads would help because we were still not strong enough. So they would help take out trees. So it took about 2 or 3 years. We made this very cool trail for the bikes. So it was myself, my brother, Mike, our other friend Billy, and then the other three guys that were new to the group.
Mm-hmm.
So on this bike trail, it got pretty intense. There was like we purposely had ditches in there that you had to maneuver around, hills that you would jump, and it was like a figure eight. And there's a starting point, and it came all the way back to the finish line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as we're getting a little bit older, we're right around probably 12. We were time ourselves who had the fastest time. So each of us would get on the mini bike
Mm-hmm.
and we would drive it. And we had one of those old stopwatches, and we had
Uh-huh.
his and my buddy's Mike's sister. She was like 5, and we had her wave the flag, boom, and then we hit the stopwatch, and we would take off and cruise this trail. So all of us did the trail. We got our times. And then our one buddy, Billy, okay, it was time for him for his turn. Now he was a friend of ours, Billy. He does his trail. He goes on the trail. But now the other 3 guys that we did not know, of the 3, this other kid, he disappears. He's gone. We don't know where he's at. And we thought it was odd. So again, we can hear the motorbike, the mini bike, cruising through the trail. And maybe halfway through the trail, we hear the mini bike stop, which meant he wrecked. Okay. And it was the type of mini bike where if you fell off or if you hit a tree, which I've done many times, the motor would stop.
Mhm.
So we heard it. We heard something. We heard the motor kind of fade away, and we're yelling out to him. We hear no response back. So we all get on the trail on foot, all of us except for this one kid who now disappeared. We get to our friend Billy, and yeah, he's laying in the middle of this trail, and he didn't apparently hit anything, but the bike was maybe several feet in front of him where he fell off. I think he fell off and the bike continued forward, and he's crying. And we look and on his back, he was bleeding on his back, and we lift up his T-shirt, and there's 2 scratches, deep scratches in his back,
Mhm.
bleeding, okay? And we're panicking, and he's crying, and he says, "Something ran out of the woods in a wolf's mask and jumped on him and scratched him and gouged at him."
Wow.
And we're like, "What are you talking about?" And we're thinking, what, a person in a mask? And if you put 2 and 2 together, I mean, we're kids, we're not even teenagers yet.
Mhm.
There's no way I, I suppose someone could run and knock you off a mini bike because it's not like you're going that
Mhm.
fast. You're doing 10, 15, 20 miles an hour at the most. At the
Mhm.
most. Yeah, somebody ran out. That's the key word, ran,
Mhm.
dressed like a wolf, and jumped on him and scratched him and ran back into the tree line. Because, this is in the woods and there's a tree line on either side of the trail. And he's
Right.
bleeding. So we're looking around for this other kid that's now disappeared. We can't find this guy, shouting out his name, whatever it was back at the time. Thanks, Titan. So we're like, well, there's no cell phone, so we get him,
Mhm.
we pick him up, gather the bike, and we make the trek back to the house, which maybe was about a 8-minute hike back to the house. The parents came out. "Oh my God, what's going on? What happened? I told you guys those mini bikes are dangerous." And we're like, "Ma, look, Dad," and the parents that were there, "This isn't from the accident. Billy said that something jumped out at him and clawed at him." "What do you mean? There's no predators, there's no bears, there's no wolves around here." "Well, whatever, we're kids. Look what happened. We need to get him to the hospital." And the parents recognized that he's in some trouble. So took him to the hospital, and he ended up getting stitches because they were pretty deep, didn't hit no arteries. Billy survived, got the stitches.
Mhm.
So now the parents, they sit us down back at the house, and they're having the Inquisition, questioning each and every single one of us, except for this one kid who's now not there. This kid that I said I did not like at the onset. There's 3 new kids. 2 were like average guys, boys, whatever. But the other kid, much like I told you guys about that other story about this other kid, I didn't like the kid from the beginning. And now it's strange to me that he disappears. So now we're all thinking, maybe this kid did it. Maybe he had this all planned out. But it's pretty elaborate, though, for a young kid to come up with that type of plan. Wearing a mask, jumping into the trail, scratching them. So my mom and dad and Mike's mom and dad, they're calling. And they get with these other 2 guys, and they ask, what's the phone number to his house? We're going to call his parents to find out where this kid is, what's going on. They call the parents of this kid, who is now the missing kid from the party, and he's not home. The mom and dad said, no, he's not here. He was supposed to be at your house. Where is he? So now those parents are getting a little frantic. So all the parents all got together. They had this big powwow. Now our one friend, he's going to be okay. So now we start the search for this missing boy. Well, we can't find him. Now, the reason I mentioned the Oakland County child murder is because of this. We went home. We spent the night. My parents spent the night, and we all went home, the next morning. And, of course, when we get home, we all thought nothing of it. Now you're at home. Boy, that weirdo kid, I hope they find him. What's his deal? He's probably scared. We think he's the culprit. So about a month later, my mom and dad get a call from Mike's parents, and they said, that one missing kid who Robbie, thought he was weird? Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, his name was John, and his parents were called by the police, and they found him naked and murdered in a ditch 3 miles from the trail bike site.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And I got to tell you guys, I'm not suggesting this was a cryptid. They got our friend and then killed this kid. I'm thinking, and I'm not even suggesting it was a part of the Oakland County child murder, excuse me. But very strange set of circumstances. Now that we're all into cryptids and hear these things about dogmen, if you go back into this story, ran out on 2 feet, dressed in a wolf's mask, scratched him, runs back into the tree line. I'm thinking dogman, right? Or something. Werewolf, maybe.
Right.
Now I'm thinking, not back as a kid, I'm not. I'm thinking the kid wore a mask and did something.
Right.
And then,
so how old were you in these kids?
I was 12, about 12. Between 10 and 12. I wasn't yet a teenager. Old enough to be responsible enough where the parents let us go off on our own in the woods with mini bikes. So, and
oh my gosh, that's
so
awful.
Yeah. And so then you think further, maybe this kid that, and by the way, you guys, even to this day, when I talked to my friend Mike not too long ago, because I told him about that story that I told, he goes, Robbie kind of screwed it up. So now today I just told it correctly. And, that kid his murder is never, or we assume he was murdered, but he was naked in a ditch, you guys. And the parents never got any closure because that murder or that death has never been solved.
That is so sad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe have Tex look into that. And, maybe they can set up some type of profile for this killer or whatever, or maybe and see if it's possible it could be connected.
Because I do know that it was during the height of this Oakland County child murder investigation, and but the parents did their due diligence. They assumed that perhaps his son was murdered by this person. But you got to remember, this is an unsolved murder, and it's speculation, and all these other 12 kids that have since passed or been murdered.
Sure.
That mystery has not been solved. So these families, these parents today are probably in their 80s and 90s. Their children today would
Yeah.
be in their 40s, right? So that's still a case has not been closed. In that case,
Wow.
this missing child that we stumbled across, he never made it to the newspaper or anything because they said that was, I guess when I understand that was not related to the actual Oakland County child killer.
Mhm.
Okay, so
They
they
said it
didn't
was
find
something,
anything that resembled.
the
Connected.
evidence didn't match, the investigation didn't match what the other 12 children went
Mhm.
through and how they were discovered. Because all
How
12 of those had the same, there was the
right.
same, I guess, I don't know if it's the motive, but it was the same circumstance, if you will.
Yeah,
It was this
characteristics of it. Yeah.
characteristics, it was all, yeah.
Mhm.
But this odd one, we had thought, hey, maybe he was got by this, but we just thought it odd. But but if we circle back to the beginning of this story, at 10, 11, 12 years old, why would he have even left the group in the first place?
Right.
That's really, to me, the mystery. Yes,
Mhm.
my heart goes out to the family. My heart goes out to the fact this kid got murdered. The problem is that I have with this is, why did he leave us? And he just kind of like vanished off. He kind of snuck out and went his own way. That's why we thought he was the culprit behind the mini bike attack.
Mhm.
But then again,
Wow.
I don't know if a kid has that type of strength, stamina to do that and escape.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
hey, if you have that ability, then you're super.
well, and the fact that he was found naked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how close was this to where the other 12 murders
Well,
had
Oakland County is vast. It's a very big county. It was 3 miles from our trail, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
The closest murder to the trail was probably 10, 11 miles from
Not
there.
See,
far.
that's too close. That's too close.
And you know
That's
what?
that's
Look, John's right. Maybe he didn't sneak off.
maybe he didn't.
Hey, I mean, you think the person,
Person
how someone gets snatched from us, but I could see a group of guys focused on the trail. We're in the woods, and maybe I don't know if he was like. So is he, John? Are you suggesting he was snatched, and we didn't even recognize it?
Maybe
maybe.
he wasn't snatched. Maybe he knew the person.
That's true. That's true. And
That's
and
possible.
you got to think about this too. You I'm sure you've heard of encounters like people hiking and things like that, and people are like not far behind them, and they turn around and they've just disappeared. And they become part of the
Mhm.
missing
Oh yeah. Oh
one.
yeah.
So
I mean,
maybe it wasn't a man in a mask. I mean, I'm not going out there and saying it's dog man like they got this kid. However, could be a
well,
possibility. Maybe it snatched. I don't know.
why do say this? I think it was. I don't think it was a. I think it might have been Dogman or a
Hmm.
cryptid. I do.
Hmm.
It could
But
be
if it
possible.
wasn't, if it was a human being, that's a very clever, slick, a very intelligent person, though. And if this
Right.
kid knew this person,
Hmm.
that is a very plausible
Yeah.
theory, right?
Right.
Yeah, and then why would somebody jump out in a wolf suit or mask and
Right.
stretch
That's
him
what I'm
and
thinking.
stretch him?
Here's what I'm thinking. Again, I'm thinking if it was this kid, he wanted. Okay, the kid disappears from our group, wants to do something malicious, puts a mask on, just happens to be a wolf, and he's
Hmm.
lurking in the trail because he knows the trail. We all rode the trail. We know the trail. So perhaps he was there. I'm thinking as a kid he did
Hmm.
this. As a young kid, if I'm reflecting back to my youth, 12 years old, I remember back then, oh yeah, that kid. Because you guys, as I told you in the beginning, I thought there was something odd about him anyway.
Hmm.
So
Right.
I automatically fingered him for this whole thing.
Mhm.
Wasn't
Yeah.
Mhm.
thinking about a human being, wasn't thinking about the Oakland County child killer, even though I knew about it. I mean, it was big time news back then. So I was fingering, and this kid was guilty. And then we can't get in touch with the parents, can't find this kid. So we leave, we go home. I'm at home, my parents, and life goes on for me. A month later now, we get the call that, that boy that was disappeared was found dead.
Okay, so there's
Wow.
2 questions here. People are asking. Titan asks, he said, Rob, maybe you said it, but I missed it. Did the boy have lacerations or cuts on him?
Well, yeah, the boy had on his back. We took him to my parents, or the group of parents collectively took him to the hospital. He got stitches in his back because he was he was bleeding. So he was slashed at, and it was 2 slashes.
So it would either have to have been a type of knife.
Yeah.
I would guess to cut that deep. When you think.
Yeah.
Or
plus,
a dogman will just have to reach out and.
Yeah, and if you think, let's just say for the discussion, dogman, wolf. There's going to be at least 3 claw marks, is there not? I mean, they don't have hands like us. Although a dogman has hands.
Right. Yeah, it's going to come 1, 2, or 3, or it's going to be more than one. Really, they're not going to sit there and go like this.
See, if it was 1, I would be more apt to think today as a grown up, a knife. But I just remember as a child, I'm thinking the kid did it. But with 2 cuts, that is a big clue. That is a big mystery there.
JD Smooth asked, did you ever find out, like, how did he die? Was that ever released?
Strangulation.
Wow. Of the boy that had died.
The boy that died, that they found naked in the ditch, that it disappeared from our group, was strangled to death.
Yeah.
Now,
he also makes another comment real quick that says, I don't think it was a dogman. Dogmen don't strip them down naked.
Yeah. And again, JD Smooth, probably not. I mean, again, this is such a mystery.
It's just weird. Yeah.
A human being, a sick sadist human being, we all heard, I don't even like talking about these stories, strip down kids, right? And they do whatever. I don't know the depths of what happened to him, if he was abused or not. I just say, he was strangled, left 3 miles from the trail.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, and this is not funny at all, the strange thing is he was found a month later.
Wow.
In a ditch. Yeah. Now I will say, back in this part of Oakland County, very rural. You could drive by a ditch. There could be somebody laying in a ditch, and you would just keep driving by until somebody happens upon it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. That is.
Yeah, it still makes me wonder if it wasn't related to that serial killer. Due to the fact is sometimes serial killers have to change their MO just due to the circumstances that they're in. Or maybe their mood changed or something else happened. I mean, look at most serial killers in history. They're not all exactly the same. There's little differences.
But usually, though, their MO is the same. Aren't I correct on that? I mean, it's the same, for serial killers. I don't know.
When you say the MO too, is again, that's a good point, because you asked me the question early, because when I talked to my friend, Mike, I again, he was in my fantasy football team and stuff like that. Our group, our group, and we always reflect on that and talk about that situation, how we all were kind of like, whoa. But when you bring up the MO, the other 12 for this story, this kid it was a totally different scenario on how he ended up not with us, right? So to me, it's very mysterious. I can see if it was 1 scratch a person, but 2. I'm not a weapons expert. I don't know that there's a weapon with 2 blades. I don't know. Or 2 people, right? One with one each with a knife. I don't know. And the thing
or the person's got him twice. You just don't know.
But here's the weird thing: if you break it down really quickly, our friend on the bike gets attacked. He gets scratched. We take him to the hospital. But now there's this other, well, not friend of ours, some newcomer that is
Mhm.
missing, and he winds up dead. So two different circumstances, really, if you look at it.
Mhm.
One kid, a friend of ours, attacked. The newcomer disappears, and he turns up murdered a month later.
Wow.
So I'm thinking now, if you look at it that way, I don't think that kid back in the day had anything to do with our friend. Do you think
No.
you can kind of wipe that out, right?
Mhm.
So what got our friend on the trail is the question, and what happened to this other young man who was part of our group who was found again in the ditch.
Mhm. Wow. That's crazy.
I'm always trying to figure it out. I mean,
Yeah.
because you have these unsolved murders, and it's like these families are still going to this day wondering what happened.
And
You
really
know, what
briefly,
happened to their brothers, sisters, kids,
Mhm.
whatever. It's just,
and really briefly too, when I was writing for a person for their YouTube channel, we'll leave it at that.
Mhm.
I was going to do a piece on the Oakland County child killer, and I researched the hell out of that before I wrote the script for it, which never got
Mhm.
Mhm.
published, by the way.
Mhm.
And there was nothing that linked this other kid to this because
Kid.
it did not make any sense
Yeah.
with it. It was something random, in my
Okay.
opinion. And I'm not a
Wow.
criminal expert or anything.
Wow. Well, we're
Oh,
coming up on the 52-minute mark.
Gosh, that was quick.
yes, I
Everybody
know.
knows what that means. So anyway, stay tuned, guys. We will be back in
Now
5 minutes.
the next story I got is gonna be a ghost story. Nothing, so I'm sorry to bring everyone down, but it's just that hey,
Hey,
we all are into these
Weird,
mysteries, and
oddest. Yep,
that's
hey,
certainly
it's
a weird
Bootober.
that's beyond BMR for sure.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's Bootober. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
All right.
Right. All right. We'll be back, guys. 5 minutes.
All right.
strangest thing. It's shorter than you think. No think.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for sticking
Not
with
bad.
us. While we're at break, I started a few questions, and while we're on that story, and then we can move on to a ghost story that you would answer, Rob.
Yeah, and there's one thing I wanted to add to really quickly. I know I kind of talked about it in the story, which is really a mystery still to me, is when we started out. Now, there was Rob, Mike, my brother Dave, and Billy, our friend. Billy was the one that got attacked. And then it was the other 3 guys. So that's 7. Obviously, it was 6 back when our friend Billy went on the track because we were timing it. So there's 6 guys. To me, still, I can't believe that we didn't notice that one of the members of our group was disappeared until we heard the mini bike stop
Mm-hmm.
and the motor kind of slowly rev out of motor.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't notice the other kid was gone until we all looked at each other to take off down the trail. It's just odd to me that we totally missed and didn't even know. I guess we were all just I know we were all gung-ho looking at the stopwatch, and we're all competitive whose time is he's going to beat or not beat. I get it. But that to me, though, how he just simply vanished,
Yeah.
And vanish is kind of a strong word, but just disappeared. I know
Sure.
whatever word to use. I don't know. I just can't believe that none of us noticed that prior to our friend falling off or getting attacked on the trail.
But they say that's common with the missing 411. They're right behind them, or and they just disappear.
Yep,
Yeah.
so they're just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've heard stories about the last man on the hikers. I did a story in the book, 8 or 9 people hiking in single file. The last one's always the one to disappear, and no one thinks to look over their shoulder. Which, by the way, next time I'm hiking a trail with a group of people, I'm not going single file. I'm going 2 abreast, and I'm always looking to check on the people in back of you because you just don't know, right?
Right. There's some questions here on this story. There's several questions, actually. Yeah. John asks, is there any bobcats or young mountain lions in the area?
I would say a possibility of bobcat, but no, not in Oakland County. No mountain lions, no wolves, no bear.
Okay. Next one, Spiritual Odyssey asks, was the body decomposed or was it a fresh dump missing for a month?
I didn't. All I know is I found out a month later, and I couldn't give you any of the details. In fact, though, when I did the research for that one story about the Oakland County child killer, I don't know why I can't say that, like a tongue twister.
Mm-hmm.
I even looked up and tried to find this kid. There's not even a newspaper article on his death, which to me is very strange.
That is
I
weird.
was going to incorporate that into when I was researching that to see if I could find a link. Trying to be a little Joe investigator. Nothing, not even a story on that.
Wow. That also makes you wonder,
that does make me wonder.
Mm-hmm. Titan asks, Rob, was the young boy the last one in the group, kind of like the missing 411 stories?
Well, again, I think if I go back when I was 12 thinking about watching this trail, I don't know where anybody. I don't know if I know we weren't single file. I'm sure we were 6 abreast watching.
Mm-hmm.
We were mainly focused on the timer, what's the time?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And then last question, let me go to it that we have so far. Kind of off the wall, not really what we're talking about, but JD Smooth said, did you guys get any paranormal activity last month during the different full moons? I didn't notice anything myself.
Me personally, no.
No more
I'll
than
check.
usual.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's
There
no
you
more
go.
than usual. I mean, there's always, I always experience paranormal activity pretty much wherever I go, and no more than usual.
Hmm. Yeah. Rob, you said you have some ghost stories for us.
You know, I do have a
Oh,
pretty
wait.
cool
Before you begin,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't have time to go make popcorn. I got my gummy bears. I'm ready.
Caribou. I like caribou.
That's right. It's like I didn't have time to go make popcorn, but I got my gummies. We're ready.
What are those things you like from Buc-ee's?
Oh,
Beaver nuggets.
I
Beaver
love
nuggets. Yeah.
that. Oh my!
Brandy
I
loves
love beaver
beaver
nuggets.
nuggets.
So do I, Brandy. In
Do
fact,
you?
when I went to Texas for the Texas convention or conference, Randy picked me up at the airport, and it was like a 3-hour ride from the airport, Dallas Airport,
Hmm.
and he took me to Buc-ee's, and we're on the freeway, and I see this humongous gas station. I go, what is that? I got to go there. He goes, Rob, I'm planning on taking it. You read my mind. Buc-ee's. First of all, it's like 1,000 pumps for car. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're gonna find a pump with nobody around, and they also had a lot of pumps for semi trailers and tractors, right? And
Hmm.
this Buc-ee's, you guys, this is. I look at this place and I'm like, wow, look how big it is. I said, man, I could spend all my money right in this store. You walk in, they had everything in there. And I'm not just talking food, I'm talking clothing, Christmas ornaments, Halloween ornaments. They had everything. They had literally one wall lined with beef jerky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
forgot what I
Yeah.
got. No, I got the what do you call it? The beaver nibble?
Beaver nuggets.
Nuggets.
Yeah, I got it. He goes, you got to get this. So I got me a beaver nugget and
Well, I watch a
I
lot of
love it.
TikTok videos, and
Yeah.
I follow Jelly Roll. The country singer.
Yeah.
And they stopped at a Buc-ee's, and they all went in to find the oddest thing they could find.
Oh,
The
there's odd
funniest
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
And somebody came out with the beaver nuggets, and I had Brandy written all over it.
Yeah.
She's
That
the
was
first person that popped in my mind when I watched that.
the only thing that I
Yeah.
was mad about is only bought one bag.
Yeah.
I get 3 every time. I got to have one for my mom and my youngest daughter. I've got to have it, so I never come home with one bag. Matter of
Right.
fact, I just finished up the bag I had for my last trip,
Yeah.
just about 2 or 3 days ago. So
That's definitely a go-to when you do those travels in the South.
Yeah. And see, I'm not much of a shopper. So honestly, I could care less about Buc-ee's, or just give me a gas station. Let me run in and pee, get my soda, and I'm done. Let's go.
Most of the things I eat are from the gas station nowadays anyway. But if I had a Buc-ee's, I'd be broke.
Now, I will say, Brandy did bring me out a breakfast sandwich from Buc-ee's,
Yes.
and that was good. That was good.
I did. That's what I had too, because when we got there, it
Mhm.
was still early in the morning. So I had my breakfast sandwich first, my big old coffee,
And then your
I
beaver nuggets.
I had to wait for about an hour into the trip back to the hotel or where we were going. And then I broke them open. And I'm like, man, I should have bought at least 2 bags.
Wow.
And Randy had a bag himself. We each had our own bag,
That's hilarious. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah. Two Shadows says, my oldest just called me for my birthday. Happy birthday, Two Shadows. And it says he bought a house built in 1813. That'd be cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And happy
Nice.
birthday, Two Shadows.
Yes, happy birthday.
Yeah. Let's hear some ghost stories, Rob.
This is a pretty cool story.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta preface this by saying this. This is so unusual. My mom, well, first of all, okay. This story involves my mom and her grandpa and kind of my grandma. Well, here's a story about my grandmother, Dolly. Okay. When my mom was conceived, she has three other sisters, Karen, Kathy, and Renee, my aunts. Okay. But my mother was the firstborn to Grandma Dolly. But, well, I hate to talk bad about Grandma Dolly, but she was kind of, promiscuous. So my mom was conceived in a diner, some random thing. So my mom, and never to this date, she doesn't know who her real dad is.
That
So, but the grandpa that I knew, his name's Harry, and I never knew that he wasn't my real grandfather until I was old enough when my mom told me. So throughout my life, Harry was my grandpa, and to this day he still is, as far as I'm concerned.
right.
But
I kind of have the same situation too with
Okay.
my grandma, and yep.
However, the stories that my mom would tell me about my grandma Dolly, her mom, she was not a really good woman to my mom. Okay. In fact, before I get into the story, when my grandmother died, and my mom was always wanting to know the name of her dad, her real dad. And do you know, and I can't believe this was my grandma, who I loved. On her deathbed, my grandma got brain cancer at 62. She died at 62. And she told my mom, Penny, her name's Pam, but everyone called her Penny in the family. Right before, she goes, come here, laying in the hospital, I'm going to tell you your dad's name, finally, because she kept it a secret for whatever the reason from my mom. Come here, Penny, I'm going to tell you the name of your dad. And my mom is like, finally, on my mom's deathbed, she's going to tell me. Come close. And do you know that this woman looked at my mom and grinned at her, kind of like a smirky, evil grin, and says, I'm kidding. I'm never telling you. I'm going to take it to my grave.
Oh,
and then she died right then and there from my mom.
Wow.
So now, to set this up, what my mom thought about her mother, my grandma.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So with that being said, my mom, when she was born, my grandmother just didn't like her. The other three, my other three aunts, they're her half sisters. And my grandpa Harry, of course, conceived them with Dolly. But he was the greatest, sweetest grandpa. He treated my mom just like the other three, even though she was not his. She was his daughter. And the three sisters always were kind of, oh yeah, Penny, you're the outsider. You don't know who your dad is. So my mom went through some hell, man, growing up. It's all said.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
So my grandmother would always send my mom up north in the Upper Peninsula to my grandmother's dad, which was my mom's grandfather. Okay. And he had a candy store up north in the UP. And she would send my mom in her early youth to live there. So my mom lived in the Upper Peninsula for about 4 years and essentially was raised by her grandfather. And my mom took care of my grandfather. Her grandfather all the time. My grandfather, though, was a roughhouser, a rambler, a big-time drinker. My mom would tell me stories that every night he would come home drunk from the bar, got in a fight, got beat up, and my mom was there to wash the blood off his face, give him a bath, and put his drunk ass to bed. But my mom loved him, though. But my mom did love him because he loved her. So he passes away. And now Grandma Dolly, now has to take my mom, still in her teens, to live with the other three sisters and Grandpa Harry and all this. So this kind of sets up the story of how terrible it kind of was for my mom. So when my mom's grandfather died, the one that lived up north, of course, she got this haunting big picture of her grandfather. And it's in a beautiful oval mahogany frame, and it's a picture of her grandfather and it's a black and white picture. He was in his 20s, and there's a big bubble glass that encompasses it. It looks like a huge Easter egg that my mom wanted, and she got. And my mom took this picture of her and put it into her marital home with my father, and while she was raising me and my brother. And I got to tell you guys, this picture is creepy. I don't like it. It gives me the chills. My dad died about 7 years ago, and as you two know, maybe a lot of people don't know, and I tell you this, that I take care of my mom. Now, my mom can take care of herself, but when my dad died, she's so lonely.
Sure.
So I moved her into my house, so she lives with me.
Mm-hmm.
And she brought this godforsaken picture of my grandfather into the house, which is sitting in the house. But the story goes back to the picture of this story goes back to though when she was younger and married. So my godfather, Pete, who was the son of my mom's grandfather, he was my godfather. He loved me. His name was Pete. He lived up north. And I love this guy. I get the same love from him that I think my mom got from the grandfather, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just dug me, man. We, hung out. He was seeing me, always sent me money for Christmas, my birthdays, and every time I saw him, he just treated me like something special. Greatest guy in the world. I love the guy. So one day, I'm at my mom and dad's house, and we're in this the living room area, I think it was, where this picture of her grandpa was on his wall. And it's right around midnight. And we're sitting there. I don't know what we're doing. I can't remember. This is a long time ago. We're all sitting there talking. We're looking at this picture. My mom's telling me some stories about her grandfather and just how much she loved him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you gotta remember, her son is my godfather, Pete, who loved me very much, and who my mom knew because they would go sailing under the Mackinac Bridge back in the day. So they were very tight, and it was because of the bond with her grandpa. So we're staring. My mom's telling me telling me stories while we look at this picture. And you guys, and this picture was fastened on this wall pretty secure. My mom made sure it was not falling off of this wall. So she's in the middle of a story talking about her stories of the old days with her grandpa. Then you guys, the picture fell off the wall. It just fell off the wall and hit the ground. Now, the bubble and the glass enclosure that it was framed in, that set in the frame protecting the picture, it didn't break because it's pretty thick glass, but it fell off the wall. And my mom is like, we're looking like, that is very odd.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back and say, Mom, let's go check this out. So I go to this wall. We get the picture. The picture's fine. It's intact. And there was two nails that were secure into the wall with anchors, and they were hanging nails. They were not broken. They were not loose, nothing. And we look at the back of the picture, and all of the attachments on the back of the picture are there's nothing wrong. So some sort of energy, I'm guessing, not back then, because I knew nothing about the stuff today that we're talking about. So I'm guessing some sort of energy forced it off the wall. About a minute after, this picture flies off the wall, hits the ground, does not break. The phone rings. Uncle Pete, my godfather, the son of the grandfather who just fell off the wall, committed suicide.
Oh my
Hmm.
gosh.
So if you put the time together,
Yeah.
you know, we're talking the story about her grandfather, whose son was Pete, my godfather, mysteriously falls off.
Dang.
Get a call, my godfather, the son, shot and killed himself right around the same time this picture fell off the wall.
Just wow.
Yeah. That's just wow. That's crazy. Seriously. Like
That is crazy.
that is
You know,
I don't believe in coincidence. You know that. So
I
there's
know that.
no, you know, I don't believe that was just a coincidence. There's something, some sort of message or something there.
Yeah, and so yeah. Well, first of all, that day was filled with nothing but like stress and drama because my mom's talking about her beloved grandfather, her son, who is beloved to me, my now godfather, commits suicide, and right around the same time he does this is when the picture of
Yeah.
and then of course the phone is ringing all night long, and it's just like, and I'm very depressed. I'm sad because I love this guy, and it's like so odd. And as life goes on, now that we do what we do today, because back then I wasn't into none of this. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, if there's a message there, I can't determine or discern what the message would even be.
Well, like a spiritual Odyssey just said, maybe it was his way of saying goodbye. Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. Let me just interject here. Okay, let me explain something very similar that happened in my family, Rob. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now there was a picture of my great grandparents that my grandmother had, and at some point it had fell off the wall and broke the glass. Well, my grandmother didn't get it fixed. She just set it up on her china cabinet there for a long time, and next thing you know, they started having knocks happen in the house, and it sounded like somebody was running through the attic, and just weird things were just happening around the house.
Mhm.
Well, somebody in the family says, well, you know what? It's probably that picture. You need to get it back in glass and get it encased.
Mhm.
The picture you're describing about your grandfather is the egg-shaped mahogany, thing
Well,
with the bubble glass, right?
really?
That was in my grandparents' house. After my grandparents had passed, my mom still stayed in the house and everything. And, we were going through old pictures and stuff, and I love old pictures and stuff. And she says,
Yeah.
well, do you want this one? You can take it to your house, put it in your house. And I said, Mama, I know the story. I don't want that in my house. I'm like, I don't want it in my house, and I just kind of done that, for years. I said, no, no, no. And one day, she had come up here for a couple days to help me out while I didn't have a babysitter. My babysitter was sick, and she came up and helped me with that. Well, while she was gone, her house caught on fire. So in all of this, the picture definitely burned up in the fire.
Yeah.
Since then, the land has been cleared, and my mom sold the land. A new house has been built right on the same plot that she had her house on. They didn't even move it around the property. Now you're talking about almost 3 acres, and they put the house right in the same spot. I'm wondering if they're having some type of activity, and it has nothing to do with the brand new house. It has to do with what was there
past.
before.
Yeah, the past, right.
Yeah. Paranormal Pixie asked Rob, did it get a scratch on it when it fell?
Well, see, that was the crazy thing, Laura, Pixie. It was like, I remember, I have the picture here. The picture's here now at my house because she wants it. So it's here. Yeah.
Oh, pull it off the wall and let us see it.
I ain't touching that. It's covered. Yeah.
He says I got it covered up and buried it in the closet. There's
I've got
no way.
it. It's hanging on a wall way back in the corner, and I've got something actually covering it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't like looking at it. You know me, you two know me when it comes to this stuff. I'm surprised
Yeah.
that it's here.
Mhm.
Ma, why can't you just put it in your bedroom for God's sakes?
Well, she don't want to sleep with it either.
I gave you a nice bedroom. You moved in. This is your room. Put all your stuff in here. No, I'd prefer if you put it, somewhere else.
Mhm.
I'm like, what
Right,
about the
right.
shed
But
out back? What about the shed? No, I can't disrespect grandpa.
Mhm.
Oh, put it in your
yeah, you
bedroom.
really
Oh,
you don't know what to do with stuff.
I don't know what to do with it. What am I going to do? I don't want to go to this route. What happens like one day, blah blah blah, mom is, blah blah blah, gone, right? What am I going to do with this thing?
Well, you could do like I don't know, put it in your garage or something
Yeah,
because
well, I
look
got
at
to tell you though, but I don't think it's then it makes me think, some of the weird experiences I've had in the room with that picture that I have had plenty, as you both know. I don't think it's coming from that though. That isn't that weird? I don't
Mhm.
think because I think that is a positive energy, a positive thing,
Mhm.
right? Grandpa,
I don't know. I don't know. I always kept thinking that particular picture of my mom's house. I thought they kept looking at me every time I walked by. It
spirituality,
just gave me that freaked out, creepy feeling.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, you guys, I
If
don't,
you
I
ask me,
can't, I haven't looked at this. I don't look at this thing now, and I think I don't know if I answered Laura Pixie's question when it fell. I do remember I picked up again the wall door was secured on both of those nails in the secured area. Nothing wrong. The back of the picture frame, the two things that it was secured to, nothing wrong. But the glass, not a scratch, not a chip in it, mahogany wood, nothing. It was almost like someone took it off and just put it on the ground. Didn't break. Now
Wow.
the glass is pretty thick. Brandy, you could probably recall that the glass we buy today is so
they are
thin and cheap.
thick. Yes.
This is pretty damn thick. It's
Mhm.
almost like a Coke glass back in the day, but clear and transparent. But I got to tell you,
Yeah.
that picture of this, it's this very haunting picture. To me,
Yeah.
it is.
They were all strange. I
I
mean,
know.
because a lot of people can recall those type of frames, and they were very popular. And I can't even give you what year it was popular in, but everybody had one at one time or another. Just go
Yeah.
back through your old family heirlooms. I bet you everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Mine.
Creepy.
I got a picture story too, but it's not like a ghost or anything. So my dad, years ago, he used to draw and he would paint, and he drew and painted this huge. I mean, it's a huge picture of a clown. And for a long time, when I was a kid, and my brother, he's 4 years younger than me, this used to be hanging in my brother's room for years and years and years. So my mom and dad divorced. My mom had it down in her basement and she's like, "Hey, do you want this?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" My dad painted it. My dad's still alive today. And so I brought it home, and all of my kids, this was back when, my grown kids were young. They're like, "Don't hang that up in here. We don't want that in here." So to this day, I still have that picture. But when I said put it in your garage, I was serious because I have this big clown picture that my dad painted out in my garage.
It's
Yeah.
out there.
You know what?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, that is, yeah, clowns. Me and clowns again. I got so many phobias. What do I do this? Why do I do this?
I'll have to take a picture of this
I
picture
got,
and show you.
I've been telling you so. I just got some vibe, and I just looked, and Laura says, Pixie Laura, because I think she's a spiritual type medium. I think she says she's getting the thing that there's a scratch on the picture. Well, let me tell you something. You know what I'm going to do to satisfy my curiosity? I'm going to take a look at this picture right now and see if there's a scratch on it.
You go do that.
I'm going to do that because now I'm getting this feeling right now about I don't know. I'll be right back.
Take a picture of the picture and show it to us that way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, I will. Okay, hang on.
Like, we want to know. Hurry up, go get that
No,
picture.
we want to see the picture.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, that picture that my grandparents had on the wall, that I was like, that is creepy. I mean, they had a whole bunch of pictures of them and all kinds of stuff in black and whites, and
Oh yeah.
and they were so cute and they were so nice. And then there's there's my great grandparents, and I'm like, no, there's something really weird there. And it made them look creepy. They didn't look, I mean, they didn't smile in pictures, back then. It was just kind of like
Yeah.
maybe a grin if you got one.
I got a weird, creepy story about a past relative. Now, this is weird. So I have I think it's my third or fourth great grandfather was a Confederate, not a Confederate. He was a soldier in the Civil War, but he rode cavalry for the North, and he died in one of the battles. I don't remember now. I have brain farts, but and he's buried in Virginia. So we found his picture. And I am not kidding you. And I'll see if I can find it on and post it on another show. His picture my cousin is a spitting image of this man. I am not kidding. Like, they could be brothers or father, son. And it's still his grandfather too, the same, like third or fourth generation. But
Right.
like, they look so much alike. And I've shared it like to my other family, and they're like, oh my God, it's almost like it's my great grandfather reincarnated. It's
Right.
the weirdest thing. I'll have to show you the picture sometime, Brandy, because it's like,
And
whoa.
yeah, I mean, yes, you're going to have family resemblances down
Right.
the family tree. You're going to have that. But every so often you get that identical match, it seems like,
Yeah.
and you're just sitting there looking at them like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. It's
it's,
just, it's weird. It's just weird. So, like, I don't know. We were talking about pictures, and I thought of that because that's, I mean, he died in the Civil War. So that, mid 1800s. I
yeah.
think actually he died in 1863, if I remember correctly. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
And my
That
cousin,
just, that, like I said, it makes me wonder about those people that built a house on my mom's old property. I'm like, are you feeling a little spooky?
right,
Is it-
right.
you know,
Yeah.
I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny, but I mean, it's not like we could have
Yeah.
found the
Yeah.
picture. I mean, the whole house was gone. It was burnt to the ground. There was,
Right.
they lived rural community too, so there was nobody coming fast to put out
Yeah.
the fire. And
Yeah.
wow, I just I
It's
really want to stop at their house and ask them, hey,
Mhm.
how's it going?
Right. Freaky Geek says, I thought only the dead did not smile in family portraits when they had them done before a funeral. Very morbid timeline. I don't think any of them really smiled back then, if I remember
No,
correctly.
they not any of the pictures
No.
that I have. Now, I can't speak
Yeah.
for everybody, but any old pictures that I've come across in research and things like that, I can't even put a timeline on that either, but I know that they did not smile. They
Yeah.
just didn't.
Yeah. No, they
You
didn't.
know.
And I think a lot of them, like a lot of them didn't have teeth, and, or they had bad teeth and stuff,
Well,
'cause-
and then you got to think about the lens exposure that they had to have. It took quite a while to take a picture, so they
Yeah.
just didn't smile because they couldn't hold it for that long. So they just had a kind of a,
Yeah. That's true. Because they had to stand there for a while in an uncomfortable position, And I
right.
do know a lot of times, though, Freaky Geek is right about that. Like, they would take a picture of the dead, with the dead in the picture, Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I don't have any of those in my possession from any of my past relatives back in the day. I don't have any of those. I don't know if they just didn't take them because it was a common practice back,
Yeah.
back in those days. And I just don't have any. And I have some really old pictures, really old.
Yeah. I don't know. Just crazy. Man, I hope Rob
Can
takes
you
that
hear?
picture.
Can you hear
There
me?
he is. There he is.
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm gonna figure out how to download this really quick. So I gotta tell you something. This is kind of creepy.
Oh,
It's
Oh my
Bootober. What do you want?
Well, no, I like it, and it's just really weird. So continue on. Let me, me and technology, I got to figure out how to share this now.
just if you want to send it to me, I can do
You know
it.
what? Yes, it'll save
Just
time.
Just text it to me, and
I'm
then
gonna
I can
text you the
take care of it
picture.
from there.
And there's something about this, you guys. And I'm
Oh, we're going to be revealing something live.
yeah, you are, because Laura
It's exciting.
Pixie said something, and I got to tell you guys something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even think. I'm gonna try to send this to you, Crystal. Hang on.
Yep, just send it through a text.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out how to share it real quick. I'm just a mess right now. Thanks for making me look at that picture, Pixie.
Well, let me ask you questions while you're trying to figure that out.
No,
How are you feeling about it right now? Are you feeling
I feel
shook?
kind of. It's weird because here I'm not.
Don't
Let me
tell
think.
us, but do you feel kind
No.
of shaken by right
I
now?
feel odd. I can't say how I feel. I'm not scared. I'm kind of spooked because, like I told you guys, in this picture, I'm gonna send it right now. I think,
Okay.
Krista, there's something in this picture. When I look at this picture, hang on. Okay, I'm sending the picture now. Just give it a few minutes. So let me pull my little face up here. Let me get rid of this thing. Hang on. So I just took this picture. Now, when I take the picture, now we'll have to take a look when you get it. There is not a scratch in the glass, not a scratch at all. In the picture, though, there's like a line in the upper left-hand corner, which I don't recall being there. But in the picture, there's a scratch in the glass, but there's no scratch to the naked eye. But there's a scratch there in this picture that I just sent you, Chris.
Yeah.
You could probably get it.
Wow.
So it's kind of weird.
That is weird. I'm still waiting on it to come through.
It says delivered, so.
Well, let's look here. See if I got it.
I had to uncover all this shit. I had thanks for making me work. That's why it took so long. I had to move all the stuff I had covering it up.
It's not all the way through yet.
Okay. Well,
You had to uncover everything.
yeah, I did. It's just kind of.
Yeah. It's trying to come through.
Yeah.
So it's taking its time.
But it's weird. What's in this picture, what you're going to see in this picture does not show to the naked eye, only on the picture. Well, it says it was delivered. So maybe it's taking a minute.
It says I'm having an issue with the download, which is kind of weird. I don't have issues like that.
Oh, maybe this thing is doing
Can you
something.
send it to me? Try to send it through Messenger.
Okay.
Try it
Yeah,
that way.
because now we're all invested. Now we really all want to
No,
see it.
I want to get
this picture shown.
I want to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, it's stopping.
How do you do that on Messenger? This is weird. Okay, I want to hit share.
Or just go to me on Messenger and then
oh yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
I'm a little out of sorts here, Krista Michael Tweedy.
It's got him all discombobulated.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's not gonna
I just sent it on the other thing.
Okay, now let's see. It just came through there. All right. Oh, perfect. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, so what I gotta do here.
She said, "Oh wow."
This is exciting. Yeah, no kidding. Oh wow.
Okay, let's let me get it. Give me 2 minutes. I will have it.
Yeah, I when things like that happen, it always catches me by surprise because you think that the story's over.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Apparently it's not. And for everybody listening, just to reiterate, from the naked eye, there's no scratch. And there's in the upper left-hand corner on the picture, there's like a L, backwards L thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it with the naked eye. This picture shows otherwise.
Okay, I'm going to try this one of two ways. Let me get it saved. You know what? I might be able to just share the screen instead of putting it through. Let's try that. Okay, so I'm going to try to share screen.
Raymond says, "Don't rush, but hurry up."
I know, right? I'm trying. Okay, let's see if it shows it. Can you guys see that? Can you see it yet?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. Can you make it bigger?
Ah,
Yeah, there's a plus thing.
um,
Yeah. Yeah, there
yes.
you go.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah. So you can see the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I look at it, I guess it's not as creepy as I. So if you see this line, that
Yeah,
line by the figure of the man, that's not
Yeah.
you don't that's not visible from the naked eye.
this
And
line right here.
yeah, that's not visible at all, you guys. That's not there.
But look
I
up
don't
here. There is a
and look,
crack.
yeah, and look at it's not there.
Right here.
If you guys were at my house, you looked at you wouldn't see that.
It's not there.
It's not there.
With your naked eye, it's not there.
No, it's not.
Interesting. So this line right here is what you're talking about.
Well, that line there, you can't. It's not there on from the naked eye.
But
Could it be?
it's the one at the top that concerns me the most because you do have lights on in the background, and that may be glare.
Yeah.
So I
Right,
I
it
wouldn't be
does.
able to determine
Glare.
that.
Yeah, I think
But
that
the
line.
one at the
I
top,
think the line might be glare because I took
Yes.
Right.
several different pictures and it still shows up. But
Mhm.
that
but the one
line,
at the top,
the
but the one
line
at the
is
top,
yeah,
dead center.
Mhm.
pretty much. Yep, it goes
Yeah.
down and over to the left. That's not there either.
Yep.
Wow.
That's the
Interesting.
one that concerns me. Yep.
Huh.
Huh.
That's different. Definitely different. Wow, Rob.
I mean,
Well, I would keep that picture. Wow.
Yeah,
Huh.
for sure.
That's something else because because the other one, it could be glare, so that would be one that Chris and I would go, well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what Pixar. Oh,
But
wow, Lord.
that
Wow.
that
Yeah.
one at the top that does this little thing. Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Pretty interesting.
Mhm.
And you know what though? I really don't get any creepy vibes from that picture.
I don't get a creepy vibe. I just
Yeah.
this to me.
No,
it's-
and that looks a lot better than what my great grandparents looked
Okay.
like.
Yeah.
That looks a lot better than that didn't give me creepy vibes.
And you know what?
That picture that we had was bad.
And here's what you guys got to remember too about me. You guys remember how I told the story many times about collecting antiques with the ex-wife, bringing things
Yes.
home. See, I have a phobia about that, and I don't do that stuff no more. And that reminds me of that. Now, with that being said, I've not gotten any evil activity in the house because of it. But the picture where that is where I've had all of my shadow people sightings in the basement area.
Wow.
It's where I had the so-called sleep paralysis. Remember when I walked out of my chair and saw my body in the chair?
Yes. Yes.
So it's in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
But but see, my mom's grandfather was not an evil man, so I don't associate that with anything negative. I do associate this picture, you guys, as being positive. And you know what? Titan said something. Maybe I will uncover it because it's part of my history, right?
Yeah. Try it.
Yeah.
Try it. See if anything happens.
But,
I mean, absolutely. I mean, if things start happening, we'll cover it back up.
yeah.
It's simple.
And maybe because he is covered, and maybe that would
Maybe that
do him
crack
more
is saying, "Hey,
justice.
man, he don't like that." Maybe. But
Yeah.
but you can't see that though. If you guys are sitting here with me, you would see nothing. You wouldn't
Mhm.
see that.
Mhm.
Wow. That's crazy. Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know what to say.
I don't get any negative feelings or anything
Yeah.
like that about it.
Mm-mm.
It would
No.
bother me
I'm
just-
happy with it.
Mhm.
The gist of that story was
Yeah.
how it fell off the wall right at the same time that his son committed suicide.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
the ghostly,
Mm-hmm.
strange phenomena behind that story. And I
Yeah.
don't think the
Yeah.
picture is evil. I mean, hell, that's
Hmm.
a picture my mom loves,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe it would do your mom good too to if she loves it to uncover it.
Well, I got it covered.
I know, but uncover it for your mom.
I'm going to tell her to put it in her room.
She don't want to do that, does she?
Why, though, is the question. Is she holding out on me? Are there
Yeah.
more stories that I don't know about?
I don't know. Could be.
Raymond says, I've been thrifting for a while now, and I do believe people are entities can be attached. So I watch out for creepy vibes. Raymond,
thanks.
Rob's got all kinds of stories on that.
Well,
Yeah.
Pixie says, I just wanted to give you validation it was him. Yeah, thanks. Well, I'm sure it was, but now we have another mystery behind this strange.
Right. And Type
Mhm.
makes a good point here. Rob, maybe talk with him after you uncover him. Tell him that you didn't like the pic. He would understand.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Yeah, maybe so.
And Naoma, she said, it creeps your mom out too. She just doesn't want you to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, you're like, well, I don't want to hang up your picture because it creeps me
Right.
out.
Right. Right.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, this
No,
isn't any earth-shattering thing we uncovered, but it's just kind of spooky in a sense, I guess.
It is. It is. It's odd.
I mean, I don't feel any negative anything.
Right.
No.
But when Laura's Pixie said about she sees a scratch, I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? So I had to look.
Right. Now, aren't you glad
But
you
it's
did?
not there. It's not there, though. It's only came up in the picture. So maybe even, whatever. I don't know.
I
Interesting.
don't know. It is interesting, and it's odd.
It's always
All
interesting. It's always interesting on the Blondes and Booze whenever I'm on, for sure, I guess.
Of
So,
course.
I know, because we always figure something else out. You just,
you know,
yeah, but you just when you think the story's over, it's not. There's more.
and now something.
Or-
Now I've got to go, investigate. See, Mom, tell me more about my great grandpa.
Yeah.
Or is it my great great grandpa? That would be right. My mom's what? Whatever.
Mhm.
It's probably your great great grandfather.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. And if my friend Kathy is watching, there's no like great greats or second cousins. She tried to explain to me it's like once removed, first cousin once removed. So
Yeah, I don't even understand any of that. Now you got
Neither.
me.
Sorry, kids are coming home from the football game. Dogs barking again.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Yep.
She's
And then-
getting a workout. Getting a workout.
Yeah. Spiritual Odyssey says, Rob, thanks for sharing your real life
Yeah, well, that's
live story with us.
no problem. I prefer to tell, I like telling stories about what I've gone through in life, and now you got another one. And it's actually validated. No, I wasn't BS about this picture. It's sitting right over there.
Right there.
Yeah. What do you guys, Raymond asked about dolls. He said, I'd love to have you all do dolls like Annabelle. What are your guys' views on dolls? Do they creep you guys out, or is it just
dolls and
Yeah.
clowns? They don't do it for me. They
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind if they're somewhere else, just not in my home.
I don't want them in my house either. I'll take that picture 10 times over than have a doll. Or
see that stuff doesn't bother me.
Well, you know why I think I have a phobia with clowns is this. When I remember when I was a little kid, again, my dad would take me to the DFW for Christmas, me and my brother. And he always got the biggest kick because his buddy would dress up like a creepy, ugly, menacing clown, all in black, white face, black. Everything was black and creepy. It reminds me of, you guys see the movie? Maybe you have it because you'd have to be a psycho to watch this movie. It was a Rob Zombie movie. It's a sinister movie. That's what he puts out. The Devil's Rejects. there was a clown in that movie that to this day scares the life out of me. So the clown that my dad would always take me and my brother to see when we were little looked just like this thing, and it was scared the shit out of me. And I, from that point forward, I always had wanted nothing to do with the clown. Even Bozo the clown, remember that? They couldn't watch him, even though he was a happy clown, didn't like him. I've never gotten through the movie It because of the clown in the cellar or in the underground. You know what I'm talking about, in the drain.
Right. The
Yeah.
drainage ditches. Yeah.
I've tried reading the book It 10 times, never completed it.
Oh, that's a great book. Great movie. Well, guys, we are not far from the 2-hour mark.
I know. That didn't take long, did it?
No, it did not. And this was
And
fun.
I didn't even eat all my gummies. Gosh.
I know. What's wrong with you?
I know.
I'm saying. So anyway, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Thank you, Rob, for hopping on with us.
Oh yeah, it's always I love coming on your show every couple of months. You know.
Yeah. Well, you do a little more than every couple months.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Once a month. I guess once a month.
There you
I'm
go.
always called into duty.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
That's right. And you got who all do you have next week on your shows?
Oh, well, next week, Tuesday, I've got Varla Ventura. She's a novelist, author. She's into the spooky stuff. The theme for October for our show, Krista, and the one I'm doing with Tex is mostly Halloween themed. Kind of, there's some cryptid involved, but it's mostly going to be spooky stuff because that's what I did last October. And like I said, I'm doing these October scary, spooky stories too. You know, it's a great break in the monotony. You know, I mean, I love Dogman and Bigfoot, but you know, trying to branch out a little bit and just be more variety. So yeah, you're getting more variety in the month of October.
Sure.
So it'll be hauntings and spooky stuff, which quite frankly, I just love that. You know, especially during October.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
And then I don't know who I got on after that. I got I can't think.
Well, let me look on the calendar for you.
You can't look to that next Thursday.
Let's see your calendar. So on the 10th, you have Varla Ventura.
Yeah.
Which is on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, Barry Littleton, it looks like.
Oh, good, Barry. Well, Barry could talk anything. I love
And then
Barry.
you are going to be on with Jessica Jones.
I am. Great. Very good.
You are. I got it right here in the calendar.
Okay, oh, yeah. I'm going to be on her channel, her show.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, well, it's your calendar, Rob. We're looking right at it.
I know. You guys know. See, you're both my administrative assistants. Without you, I'd be lost.
There you go. There you go. So anyway,
I always love coming on. Everybody in chat, hello.
We're glad you came. You know, it's always fun sitting and listening. It's like, you know, that's why I said I didn't make popcorn, and I should have, because you would give me enough time where I could eat it. I wouldn't have to say anything. You know. Just shake my head and go, wow. Or be shocked. One of the three, you know. Tonight,
well, I tell you, the first story, I'm sorry for, I know I've seen some comments. Yeah, the first story was a little morbid, freaky geek, but you know
what?
It is Halloween season. And it's something that happened to me. So I like talking about things that happened to me. If it happened to Joe Blow, then probably would never have told the story.
Well, last night, it's okay, because last night we got talking about the Lizzie Borden axe murder and all kinds of stuff last night. I mean, it tis the season, I should say. Yep. Yeah, the Bell Witch, all of that. I mean, just the whole.
Yeah, I caught most of that show. That was a.
Yeah.
Miss Finn took over the show, you know, but she's on. Neoma's will be on my show too. I think later in the month, so that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and we actually have to come in on this month ourselves. So, yeah, she's a great storyteller for sure. Both show. All right, well, guys, it is coming up to 2-hour mark.
Oh, and another quick cheap plug. I still have to keep promoting my book for the next year.
Yep, I've been sharing the
Fanny's got it. There it is.
Yep.
Lily Pond on Q.
Lily Pond rocks. She's been
She is. I
posting
love
it,
Lily
and I've
Pond.
been putting it up there. Yep.
Yes, Bigfoot Mission Rob presents True Cryptid Encounters Book 1 on Amazon.
Mhm.
All you have to do is type in Bigfoot Mission Rob on Amazon. And of course, the link is on my YouTube channel as well. And for those that have bought it, I do thank you. Those that have left reviews, I doubly thank you because that pushes
Mhm.
sales every time you leave an awesome
Yeah.
review. And if you don't think it's awesome, you can be honest about it. You don't have to do it just because
Yeah.
you like me.
There you go. It is a good book. I've read it myself.
Thanks.
So everyone take care, and we will all see you next week. Good night.
Yeah, next week. See you. Good night.
Night.